Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Frequency Friday. Today is July 23rd, and we are on episode 8, which is all about the importance of intentional communities. My name's Jennifer.
Hi, and I'm Christy Oates, and we are part of the production team at Camp Disclosure. Yeah, and we're going to be talking about co-creating community tonight. So it's an awesome topic that I'm super excited about. It's one of our favorite topics because it's part of our core mission at Camp Disclosure. So we're excited to get into it. We have some awesome guests tonight, some great guests, some folks that have been on before and some new folks. So we're going to get to them as soon as we can. But we have a lot of announcements too. We've been super busy in the last couple of weeks. So there's a lot of new stuff, new developments that we want to share with you. And of course, it's full moon. So we have an exciting full moon energy update and the raffle. So lots to do and talk about. But I am going to take a minute because I just want to emphasize how important it is that you all know it. Of course, it's not just me and Jennifer up here doing this. There's such a huge and awesome and amazing team of volunteers generously giving their time to make this happen. So I do want to take a minute to give a shout out to some folks that have really stepped up over the last couple of weeks and really since the beginning. And we just could not do it without these folks. So thank you to Julia Easton, Christina Lee Dobbs, Chris Musgrave, Amanda Barr, Joel Biok, Jessica Jones, Amber Jean Wheeler-Dwight, Joe Anderton, Buckaroo Lennox, James O'Reilly, Zachary and Sue Fisher, who are our guests here tonight and volunteers, and of course, Aranyanni and Adrigon and Jennifer and all the other team leaders. I want you guys to know what a huge team we have working to put this thing together for y'all. So thank you, all of y'all. And with that, I'm so excited to give you all these great announcements that this team has put together for you guys. So I'm going to get right into it. We have a bunch of new things happening. Jennifer's going to help me, so I'm going to kick it off. So the first thing that I want to tell you guys about is our additional workshops. So we originally we're going to not have any workshops, but except for we definitely wanted to have Christina Lee Dobbs back because she did such an amazing job last year. Everyone loves her so much, and we do too. And but then we trying to think of more added value, more things that we can offer you guys. And plus, they're just things that I really love and want to do. So it worked out. So the other workshops that we added are a creative movement meditation workshop with Julia Easton. So like a dance expression workshop. And I've done this before at similar conferences, and it's really fun. A beginning drumming workshop. So if you've never really played around with a drum and you just want some basic instruction, it's me. And then we're going to offer that. I'm not sure who's going to be teaching that yet, but we have a couple of people. It's just a matter of lining up the dates. And then the fourth and final workshop that we're going to offer is called Co-Creating Community, our tonight's topic. And so the people offering that are going to be yours truly, myself, Jennifer, and Aranyanni, your part of your Camp Disclosure Protection team. So those are our workshops. And next we
are super excited to announce we've been getting a lot of possibly requests about this, especially for people who are within the area that have, that are not that far away and they can't quite make it to every day. We are now offering day passes for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if you can come and join us on maybe Friday and Saturday, or you can only make it Saturday and Sunday, or if you can just come one of those days, those tickets are now available. They are live on our website if you want to go check that out and purchase. Also, we have a awesome music lineup. I do have to give a shout out to Aranyanni and Adrigon. Wendy Owen, she's one of our co-producers here. I have been listening to the music lineup because I really enjoy that type of music, and we have an awesome like lineup to bring to you. So I'm really super excited to announce that we are also offering music only passes for those who just want to come and experience that. They can't make it during the day. That is now available on our website. You can purchase that for $144 for all 3 nights. So I'm really excited about that. And
Yeah.
so we've made it easier for y'all to attend.
Yeah, to have different options for different situations. Yeah, the music was such an unexpected, beautiful, brilliant surprise. I mean, we wanted music, but we could never, it's better than we could have imagined. We have 8 different groups over the 3 nights, 3 hours a night. So yeah, I'm super excited about that.
Yes.
And also we have our live stream tickets now on the website for purchase, and we have an early bird special for those. We love our early bird supporters. It gives us great comfort and ease as we move forward. So we super appreciate everyone who's already bought your ticket, and so we'd like to reward you in as any kind of ways we can. So with this one, there's a limited number for $55, and then after those are gone, they'll be $77. So you save $22 by supporting us early, and those are online, right? Up on the web.
Yep, they're available on the website for purchase.
Yeah. and
on top of that, we are now offering a 10% discount for all military, healthcare workers, seniors, and students. You will have to present your show ID when you show up, but if you work in that field, we want to honor you guys. So make sure that, if you want a discount, take advantage of it. We're going to be giving you 10% off. So we would love to have you join us as well.
And so that discount code is, if it's not on the website yet, it will be. This team has been working so hard to get this in place. So if it's not there, it will be by the end of the weekend for sure.
Correct.
And then I've been working really closely with James O'Reilly, one of our brilliant graphic designers, to get our schedule in place, and also with the speakers, because they've been working hard to get just the perfect content that we want for y'all. So we've been getting their lecture titles. That's what we've been working on. And so we're going to upload our new schedule with all our, not lecture, I hate that word, presentation titles, workshop titles. The updated schedule is going to be online by the end of the week. It's or by the end of the weekend. So I'm excited about that. So check that out.
Yes. And like, as always, we are working really hard over behind the scenes to get all this information to you. So if you don't see something or something is not working, please just reach out and let us know. And we're just giving you the heads up. We are coming to the last 4 weeks, so we're making a major push. And yeah, if you see something not working, please let us know.
Yes, we're as we've mentioned before in some of our earlier episodes, we're not professional event organizers yet by any means. This is our second time doing this, and we both do our full-time jobs doing other things. So we're all volunteers. We're having fun, but yeah, if we mess up here and there, please just let us know and have patience with us. Yeah, and mentioning that, help us if you like what we're doing. Please spread the word. It's kind of hard being a first-time small kind of gathering like we are to get the word out. So if you like our content and our mission, what we're all about, please come. But tell your friends to come. And even if you're far away, you can't make it, just supporting us online. We're on Facebook. Join our Facebook group. We have a lot of fun there, I think, and there's a lot of good inspiration. And yeah, check out our past shows. There's some good ones. I was trying to go down the list to see which ones I might recommend. If you love this show and you're like, which one should I watch next? Our last episode, we talked about the top 10 reasons to attend camp. So that's a good one. But there's Coming Out of the Galactic Closet. That was super fun with Barry Littleton. But our most popular one, I wanted to mention this. Our most popular one was Unity in the Community. So that was number 2. And so that just shows you how important it is to us, but how much it resonates with the community. So I was touched to see that was our most popular episode. That was with Eric Rains and Karila Anhara, who's coming from the UK. She's our international speaker from UK. So and she's been on, I think, the first episode. She'll hopefully be on again. Anyway, it's like a little mini conference watching all our past episodes, I think, because we have lots of gold nuggets there.
It helps you get to know us better and our speakers too. So,
yeah. What was your favorite episode, Jennifer?
Oh my gosh. I really enjoyed all of them actually, because each one I've walked away with, thinking about something and seeing how it can integrate into my life. But I really enjoyed the coming out of the galactic closet, and also the getting serious about the mission, because as people that they know me behind the scenes, I'm very serious about the mission. So I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
So before I want to just mention, I noticed something. Do we want to tap in real quick about the early bird ticket holder drawing? Next week
yes.
is okay.
Next week's the last week. Yes. So I'm gonna do the raffle for y'all in a minute after Jennifer gives us the full moon energy updates. But yeah, next week is the last week, the big drawing. So buy your tickets before next week, and you're automatically entered to win.
Yes. Okay. So I am going to jump into. Tonight we have a full moon. We actually have a full moon going in at 10:37. p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So wherever you are in the world, depending if it's on the 23rd or the 24th, however, we have been feeling this full moon, and it is the Aquarius full moon. So to be honest, I had to take a step back for about a week because there was all sorts of crazy stuff going on in my life. And I was really feeling being upgraded in a massive way. And when I started researching what was going on cosmically, because a lot of the times I'm in tune with what's going on cosmically, it aligned. And so I really want to touch base on this full moon, because it being Aquarius, and then we also entered Leo season today. Leo is about that sense of self, that personal will. Leo likes to be in the spotlight. Well, Leo right now, the sun is actually illuminating the moon in the sign of Aquarius. So things that you may be possibly noticing is seeing things in a completely different light, gaining a higher perspective or awareness about situations. I'm not even going to go into the full detail of all the conjunctions and retrogrades and the pull and push energies that we have going on up there. But I do know that the intentions that we set during the Great Conjunction, which was back in December, are really coming back up to play. And this is key, because I want to bring the awareness that sometimes when people are tapping into these moon energies, they're not seeing the instant gratification. It is the way that the planets are playing out. So the stuff, if you journal or whatever, go back and to see what intentions you were setting in December, because they are going to be full light now. Many people, myself included, my heart chakra opened up last Saturday, and it was really intense for me. I gained a whole different awareness about situations, the parts that I played, taking personal responsibility and seeing things in new light. So you may be going through this as well. You Starseeds, the people that are really here to make a massive change, probably everybody who's watching this video right now, massive upgrades. You're going to continue to get pushed into standing in your role, because that's what the sign of Aquarius is. The Aquarius is the humanitarian, the rule breaker. It's coming in to shake shit up and push you off your ass for you to step into the role of why you came here. So that's why, depending on where you're at in your journey, you may be experiencing, it could be intense for you. It could be, not so intense. Mine was intense because it seems the further I get along, the stuff that I need to clear, I design it of like clearing like 5 things at one time. However, the difference is I know I have the tools to how to handle that situation and navigate through it easier. This is key to mention because the people that are around you are also going through the same things, but they may not have the awareness that you have. So pay attention to that. We have with Leo, that is, it's opposing the moon. That's fire. Expect miscommunications. Even though you may be seeing things on a different light, someone else is seeing something on a different light. It does not necessarily mean that y'all are going to communicate on the same page. The Aquarius is the rebel. So you may be feeling like you don't give a shit a little bit, like you want to hear your side of the story or speak your truth. The other person is going to be doing that as well. So make sure that we are holding space for those who are not as aware. And key questions that I wrote down that you can be asking yourself during this full moon is, what is calling you? What do you want to change? What's no longer working for you in your life, wherever you're deciding to go? What are you sensing, and are you ready for change? This full moon is, we have 2 Aquarius full moons back to back, which is kind of rare. It doesn't really happen that way. So don't expect this energy to just like come and go. You're going to be pushed, especially those who have a higher calling and serve a greater role here. We are being really called to step into our role. So just make sure that, again, you're doing exactly what you need to do. Full moons are great times to let go. When I had a meditation, I was seeing like a snake shedding its skin. When you ask yourself those key questions and what's not serving you, do a cord cutting ritual, do like a goodbye letter or whatever, but make sure that you let those energy go, because if you don't do it this full moon, it's going to be double intense by the next one. So if you are feeling that uncomfortable feeling, that's your sign that you need to start doing something about it, because it's just going to intensify. So that's my update.
Wow, that's awesome. I never hear these before the show or anything, so I'm just like on the edge of my seat as you guys are. It's intense. I appreciate you sharing, being vulnerable and sharing. And I was the same way last week, and I know a lot of people on our team over the last week or even month or so have been just up and down and intense emotionality. So myself included, we decided to take care of ourselves and give ourselves a break last week. So appreciate you guys being patient with that. But we're back with re-energized, and I'm feeling awesome. So with this full moon energy, affects people differently at different times. But right now, I'm feeling like it's pretty invigorating and exciting for us at camp, because we appreciate that little boost of energy to get us across the finish line, I think. But
yes, it's just everyone. It's going to be intense for a little bit. There's massive upgrades happening, and I know that that's what I was going through. Just make sure you're doing the most simplest of things, practicing that self-care, like we said last week, being open and talking to people. Make sure you're drinking, Ho'oponopono water, meditate, get out in nature, do all those things, guys, because it's, y'all know, y'all are hearing the call.
yeah.
Don't, it's just going to intensify. Don't ignore it.
Yeah, and those little things are so powerful, make a big difference, and be in community. And that's one of the reasons we love doing what we do, because we feel like because of all these reasons, community's more important now more than ever. So we want to get going so we can hear the speakers and not keep them waiting. So I want to do the raffle too real fast.
Okay.
So, we've been doing these early bird ticket holder raffles every week up until next week is our big finale. So if you buy your ticket before noon next week, you're automatically entered. There's 2 chances to win. So we have our grand prize winning. And I'm going to tell you all the prizes that you guys are going to be eligible to win. That's everyone that's bought a ticket to date and then up until noon next Friday. But this week we're doing our weekly winners, and that's just everyone that has bought a ticket up till now that hasn't already won. So we keep putting names in, but we keep taking names out because we're giving away so many prizes. Because if you've watched the episodes before, our providers and speakers and healers were super generous, and we have so many prizes to give away. So tonight I'm going to draw for 3 incredible sessions with healers. All 3 of these folks are going to be healers in our healing hallway at camp. So Scott Passion does a vocal crystal quantum healing. We're going to give away a session with him. We're going to give a Reiki session with Donald Scogins, one of our amazing volunteers and Reiki practitioner. We're going to give a session with him away. And we're going to give a human design reading away from one of our brilliant providers that'll be in the healing hallway, Daniel Edwards. And Jennifer's clapping because
oh my God, human design, guys, man, it's absolutely changed my life. So, yeah.
Right, I'm going to draw for the first one. The first thing we'll give away is the Vocal Crystal Quantum Healing Session with Scott Passion, and the lucky weekly winner is going to go to, I love this part. I feel like drum roll. Da-da-da-da.
I still don't have the confetti.
And this is going to go to someone that I know, one of my really good friends from a long time ago that I did not know was coming to our event. I just see his name here, and it's Greg Holloway. So congratulations, and I'm so glad you're coming to camp. Oh my gosh.
Congratulations.
Cool. Yeah. All right, so that is that session. And then next, Donald Scogins. Okay. This is going to go to, and the lucky winner is Jim Eplin. Awesome. And Jim, I haven't met him yet, but he bought a ticket and he's been so helpful and supportive in terms of, hey, have you guys tried this, in terms of helping us promote, because, it is challenging. So congratulations, Jim. You have a Reiki session. Awesome. And the final one, the human design reading, this is going to go to, get the confetti ready for next week, okay?
Yes, okay. Yes, it's the final one.
This is going to Shelby Kaiser. So congratulations, Shelby. That is a human design reading. That is very likely going to change your life. I'm not just saying that. They're pretty powerful and awesome. So yes. Congratulations, y'all. That's really cool. And thank you so much for getting your ticket early. Anyone who decides who's thinking of going, you might as well go ahead and get your ticket before noon next week, because the prizes for next week. Now, we can't give all of this away next week, but I'm going to tell you some of the prizes we have. We'll give some of it away next week, and I think we have to raffle some of it at the event. So we're giving away jewelry. We're giving away art. We still have Christina Lee Dobbs' beautiful big pyramid, a huge bottle of pyramid powder, Ormus pyramid powder. We have so many healing sessions. Eric Rains is giving away metamorphosis package, implant removal. Jennifer Whittington is giving away shamanic emotional healing session. Matthew Mornian's clearing session. Julia Easton, creative movement session, some clothing. Anyway, a ton of stuff. So without further ado, I don't want to keep our speakers waiting. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back with our amazing speaker panel.
Yep, less than a minute.
Okay.
Ground, connect, activate. It's time. Our Starseed soul family is gathering in the sacred Blue Ridge Mountains to dance, play, meditate, create, learn, heal, and upgrade. Camp Disclosure 2021. Experience the human upgrade. a 4-day soul-activating experience featuring leading-edge speakers, inspiring art, uplifting music, delicious food, ecstatic dance, and a contagious high vibe aimed at pushing the dialogue, shifting the paradigm, and forging a path to the new earth, where the extraordinary is not only honored, but celebrated. Find us online at campdisclosure.com for event and live stream tickets.
Welcome back, guys.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. It's so good to see you all.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
We've got a full house tonight.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
So welcome, you guys. I want to just take a minute to introduce each of you. Most of you have been on the show. Some of you are new. So I'm going to give a little bit of an introduction, and then we'll get into talking about creating community. And I'm super excited about tonight's topic. And I know that each of you are doing something kind of unique and special in your own way to create community. So I love the panel tonight and the topic tonight. So let me introduce you guys a little bit. So I will start with Zachary and Sue Fisher, because they are our new guests, and there's congratulations in order here, because these guys are newlyweds and they're straight from the beach and kind of in their honeymoon phase, right?
Well, we are on our honeymoon. We were married last Wednesday on the 14th down here in Indian Shores in Florida.
Yeah.
So we've actually been going full speed for the last 2 weeks, I'd say, and we finally got to a point where we're actually able to be newlyweds, right? It's nice.
Well, congratulations. And it's so nice to meet you guys. You're kind of Facebook superstars leading a mission there and building community there. And so I look forward to hearing your perspective and about your event that you guys planned down there. That was a really unique and special thing. So I want to get into that in a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah. And let's see. So Geraldine, my goodness, thank you so much for being here. I know that you're so busy right now, and I appreciate you taking the time. You have your own conference going on, the Higher Self Expo. So thank you and welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here. It's an honor to be here with all of you. Higher Self Expo finished now, and now we're doing WisdomCon in September. So it's exciting times, and it kind of falls into this topic of community, which we'll get into in a little bit. So thank you for having me.
Yes, you're creating a beautiful community, and that Higher Self Expo that you did last year. Several of our speakers this year, I was first introduced to on that online conference. So thank you.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And let's see, Mayana Kingery, she is our galactic grandmother, going to be on our galactic grandmothers panel. And my goodness, you've been doing this for a while. You've been creating community since you were just a super young girl. And I'm so excited to hear your perspective tonight and hear about what you're doing with Tinkdom of Everland and Peace Productions. So yeah, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here, and good to meet you all online here. Yeah.
And then our brilliant, this is part of our brilliant production team co-producers, Aranyanni and Adrigon. You guys are kind of starting or reigniting on a mission that you've been working on for a long while. Also going to be on our Galactic Grandmothers panel. And so I'm excited you're here to share kind of your vision for your new beginnings that you're having there. So welcome.
Thank you. I'm very glad to be here. And Adrigon is predisposed tonight, but he's going to be listening somewhere else, maybe popping in last minute.
Awesome, as husbands tend to do.
Yeah.
But not you, Zachary. You're newly.
I'm too new for that.
Thank you. So creating community. Let's see. As I was saying before, it's such an important topic for us at camp. And you guys are each doing this in kind of your own special way. So let me just open the floor up to hear kind of your perspective on, why it's important that and kind of more give us more details on what you're doing and why you feel drawn and driven to do the projects that you're doing, because I know you guys work so hard and put in a lot of time and hours and decades towards this vision and mission. We'd like to kick that off.
Could I start? And I'd love to share the mission and vision for our nonprofit. And it's inspiring to me, and I think others will be inspired.
Yeah.
So peaceproduction.org is our nonprofit, and we're doing community building and educational programs, self-healing and inspiration. And our mission is to educate humanity as to our true nature and inspire individuals to bring forth their visions, ideas, art, inventions, and imaginings for a world in harmony with nature and one another. And then our vision is in a scattered and fragmented world. Peace production helps individuals return to their own source of oneness within and sparks their imagination with the possibility of dreaming a world in harmony with nature and with one another. Once we discover our own oneness, we're free to co-create and produce a world of peace. So that's what drives our work. And the co-creation is so important because this is a time when we can't do it alone. We've learned, we've been alone, we've done things alone, and now is a time we have to really come together. But it's the how we come together that really matters. We have to come together from our hearts and hand in hand across the land, and just really, really working together and having an open idea, not coming with our own egoic plans and things that have to happen our own way. That we have to be open to what will reveal when we come together, because that it opens the field up for more potential than we could imagine.
That is awesome. That's really good. You see me taking notes over here. I'm like, this is great stuff. I love that. Wow. Thank you. I love the vision. It's very much in alignment with our vision at camp. And I'm sure that's why we're drawn to, each other. You were drawn to us and us to you. So thank you for holding that vision for so long, that you have.
Thank you.
I feel it's about co-creating conscious community, like Mayana said, that the co-creation is essential. And, Mayana also works extensively on a collaborative governance model, both her and her partner, to teach that. And my husband and I are very familiar with their work. And, what I feel is happening, what I see, and it's interesting because as visionaries, and especially people that are holding these codes and downloads for ascension work on the planet, sometimes those seeds are so powerful and the energy is so transformative. And when you work those moon cycles and everything, you may find someone down the road ends up essentially taking your vision, not even knowing you're doing what you're doing, and then starting that process. And I did, Mayana and I know each other, and I brought that to her attention because they have such a beautiful vision for what they're doing, and they had a vision for Everland. And what made me realize that our intentions can be so powerful for community on a quantum level that those seeds can drop into the multidimensional consciousness. And then 20, 30 years later, Starseed will pick up even the name of the vision, and they will move forward. And I see that's what's happening with a lot of communities. And I hope you don't mind if I share Mayana. They have a beautiful vision they've been working on Everland for years. And I got an invite 2 weeks ago from Everland in Colorado, a whole group of Starseed movers, shakers, activators, cross-pollinators, starting this community called Everland in Colorado. But they were planting seeds in Colorado to start a community years ago. So I believe that's where this is going, even the things that have not manifested yet, because that vision was so powerful that those spores spread. And speaking of spores, I was on the Evolver network with that Daniel Pinchbeck started. It was the largest network for transformative culture on the planet. And we talked a lot about co-creating conscious community and building the next seed. To, you think about communities like the Farm Eco Village that's about 6-7 hours away. And Steve Glaskin started it on a movement coming from California, and a bunch of hippies settled in Tennessee and built a whole mecca, this whole village, this whole sustainable, intentional, organic community. And, I'm seeing so many next waves of that consciousness happen. So we're living in an interesting time with the multi-generational effect.
Makes me think of fractals too, Aranyanni, when you're talking about that. It all kind of fractals out. So it's interesting how the energy just kind of seeds and pervades through the consciousness.
Yeah, that's what we do, is we put those seeds out in consciousness, and then people will pick them up and run with them. And that's why it's so important not to have an ego attached to what you're doing, because someone else might do it too. And it's about being saying, wow, isn't that cool? Isn't that awesome? That, look, I did that, and now this is happening. And it's exciting.
And I definitely have to say, I love that, Mayana, that you said the ego, you have to go into the we-go consciousness. It's all about chopping wood, carrying water, building, creating, realizing the synergy. We're going to see more intentional communities. My husband and I went up to a community in Whittier near Cherokee when we got married, and we thought that we were going to move forward with them too far from family, and we had to relocate somewhere else. But they were working with Dom and Her. And Dom and Her, I think, is one of the most visionary communities in the world. They are doing everything sustainable. They're doing everything in a new earth value, really galactic, visionary art, living, working together, and working with new paradigm technologies. And, it's all about harmony. The children are an essential part of that, because in these communities, you want the new earth schools, and you want to have a place for development the next generation. And so, I learned too that, if we're really doing this work, it's about the we go. And it really has to be focused on the collective connectivity of why are we all coming together in these circuits, and then, how it all fits together in a collaborative governance, which I'd love if Mayana got into that later, because I think that's a wonderful way to explain community.
Yeah. So kind of beyond just intentional community, what I'm interested in tonight is all the different varieties of community and the different ways of building community beyond just the intentional, which is one way. And I know that Geraldine and Zach and Sue are kind of building community in some different ways. And I think what's interesting to me is kind of the uniqueness of, what you guys are doing in terms of your day of being. That's kind of like a new seed that could be fractal out into something that's kind of new and different. So I'm interested in hearing that. And I know, Geraldine, you have that. I'm interested in hearing about your hybrid children's program, because that's a whole community, and so would either of you like to share about which?
We could start out. I was put on a mission, I guess, 4 years, probably 3 years ago, when I started a Q group, and it blossomed into a 70,000 person group of Starseed / Anon / spiritual / weirdos, right? We're one big group of weirdos, and I was given a vision about 6 weeks ago on holding something down here in Florida when we're down here for a month for vacation, and we decided we would do something a little bit different, and I was shown a vision of something called a day of being, where everybody that has put so much work in over the last 3 or 4 years that are the unsung heroes, let's call them, that have fought behind their digital keyboards for our freedoms. Well, we're able to have an opportunity to celebrate one another. And I've seen other events happen in the past that end up going a little bit sideways when you get speakers involved and you have people that tend to want to have a little bit more say in it than they need to, and it goes sideways, and the effectiveness of the meeting ends up not being there. So we made this as simple as possible. Show up to the beach, bring your own food, your own chair, your own family, and meet us for a day just to celebrate one another. And I think it was highly successful. There was a lot of things that, were, as you guys know, are difficult as far as getting the word out. Facebook, once they catch wind of what you're trying to do, will shut you down, and they're very effective at it, right? And my vision with this was to get these people to take their first step into getting out into public and meeting one another. That's a very hard thing. A lot of people are shy. After being locked up for a year and a half in our own homes, people were scared to take that first step and actually meet people. And that's an important thing to do.
But yet longing for that.
Yeah, people are longing for it. People are desperate for it. And, so many people feel lost. They feel confused. They feel alone, right? And, it was important for us to have an event that people could afford to do, which was, nothing. It cost everybody, I guess, a tank full of gas to get here. I mean, we had people drive from Massachusetts, Illinois, Kentucky, Colorado, Utah. I mean, it ended up being a pretty good showing for our first event, and we were happy. And more importantly, we met people that were definitely our soul family and envisioned a brighter future. And through some of these conversations, we see a path to the future, right? Where Sue and I are talking about maybe finding some property that we could do, some type of organized community, right? She owns a large daycare center in Maryland, and it's absolutely a beautiful center. And she, has to be somewhat indoctrinated with it, right? So our plans are possibly in the future, it's to create something that's more of a patriot school system that the kids will actually learn something that would be more of an everyday knowledge rather than the indoctrination that we're receiving now.
Wow.
Such as farming, and I think I heard something that you said you were doing something with kids. I can't get your name.
Aranyanni or Mayana.
And so through these connections, we're starting to see that we all have a piece of the puzzle, right? And we're able to start moving towards the new future. I've gotten to a point where with Facebook and being online, it used to be 3D, 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 where we were worried about the events that were happening on a day-to-day basis. And now it's been shown to me that we need to start showing people how to walk out into the new world. I mean, the new world's here, and we just need to realize that we have to take control of it and take action, right? And that's what needs to happen. And having you guys have this event is important for us as the event that we had, right? And we're fully supportive of what you guys are doing, and we're going to push it as hard as we can. I know you guys have 3 or 4 weeks to go. It's a hard process, and I'm sure you guys are stressed, and selling some tickets is a difficult thing to do.
Not at all.
Not at all, right? But anything we can do to help you guys, we're here, and we're pushing for you guys as best we can, because this is important. And anybody that's listening, meeting people face to face is so much different than doing it on a computer. The feeling of love that we had over the last week between getting married having this event and having all of our, we have 5 girls that came down with us for the last 10 days. I guess we had them here. And the amount of love that has been going on down here is unexplainable, right? And is as close to living in the new earth as I could imagine, right? And we all need to take this step, and we have to stop being scared. We have to put our trust in God and know that God's gonna handle it for us, right?
It's beautiful. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate what you're doing and all your support. You've personally been just a very important support for me in terms of just through some of those hard times. So thank you for that.
Hard. It's hard.
But yeah, we're feeling pretty good right now. We're excited about all the new options that we're offering, and yeah, we're in a good space. So
that's good.
Awesome.
Well, tell us, Geraldine, about what you're up to. I know you have so many projects going on, all related to creating community in a different kind of way. Tell us kind of what drives you and what you're inspired to.
Thank you so much. I think that it's really important to have these conversations. I've been a part of many different communities over the years, and there's something that I always tend to kind of think of when I think of now more than ever needing to create that community or a community that is more globally connected in a way that it's more conscious, more aware. And of course, as we know how our society is set up, in which everything is kind of in a compartmentalized aspects, and a lot of these systems that are interconnected to one another, we are very deeply interdependent, and we're codependent on many of these systems in our society that tend to be more parasitic as opposed to something that is more life-giving and pro-life, pro-creation, that conscious embodiment of what is true and what is natural. And so the more we pull away from nature, the more that we pull away from those natural laws of creation, we go into the artificial. And that's kind of where the majority of our society is now. We're so disconnected. And so the idea of intentional creation kind of becomes this idea that, we're kind of intending, but where are our intentions rooted? That's the thing. How do we even know what we're intending is in alignment with ourselves in our highest expression and collectively? Because all of our reality has been inverted in such a way that it's very difficult to discern, where we're putting our attention, time, and energy. So I think that when we're talking about this intentional community, it really starts with us. That community, that intention has to start from the inside out first in order to anchor a very clear understanding what unity consciousness looks like, feels like, and in reality, sometimes it can feel in the beginning very seemingly isolating, seemingly disconnected, but in reality, you're holding a really powerful space in which you're in a constant state of observation of yourself and all things around you without judgment. And that kind of constant state of being helps you to become accountable with what you're doing. It's everything that you're doing, thoughts, emotions, words, actions are very conscious. And that's one of the things that I've seen that kind of falls through the cracks in some of these communities, is that sometimes we forget that that's actually the core importance of each individual here. And we end up even in these intentional communities, or these communities that want to be in the light and consciousness, they forget that that's the point. That's what needs to happen. So it's a very complex, and I think that a lot of education is needed in order for each individual to understand what it means to create this kind of community that's needed. And of course, it starts with our internal work, So that's kind of where I focus the majority of my time, is in training and teaching people to start from the inside out. And through awakening layers and layers of this hypnosis that we're in, this collective hypnosis, we begin to see what's truth, and what is healing to this body. A healthy, homegrown, organic food, or education that is more conscious, aware of many different aspects, a compassionate way of being and living. And then when we go even deeper into the spiritual side of it, that's when we start tapping into consciousness, right? What is consciousness? What does that look like? What are we experiencing? And you begin to enter the interdimensional realms. And so that's where, for example, hybrids and ET consciousness kind of comes into play, where we understand that it's beyond the human experience. It is interdimensional that we are actually having to now really catch up to and begin to understand that we're navigating and moving in and out of these realms constantly. And that kind of takes our ability to, I guess, the responsibility of our conscious action and awareness kind of goes up to the next level, where you understand that your thoughts and your emotions are affecting not just the immediate environment, but these other fragments of yourself that are being mirrored through many different experiences. So in the groups that I have, both spiritual and also with the ET topic, this is kind of like where the majority of my work lies in talking about that training, preparing for that. And then, of course, from there, it trickles down to all the very, basic things, our basic needs. How do we grow crops? How do we eat healthy? How do we maintain healthy mind, body, soul, and then continue that kind of living? But community, as you see right now virtually, everything is moving in the virtual space. So I think right now it's like a wonderful time to provide education so that we can prepare and slowly move away from these systems, coming into the more organic, and have these beautiful communities out, on these lands where we can co-create in a positive way.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel the same thing. I really, I with the model I keep on seeing, and I want to honor her because she's so present with the model of the wheel of co-creation, collaborative governance, and everything fitting into a spoke and a well-oiled machine. And what I've seen is people with really wonderful intention and, even the funding, but you have to have an alchemy. You have to have an alchemy and a coherent community. And so, there are living, working aspects of it, whether you're doing a weekend retreat and you're working with volunteers, or whether you're building a community, the ground floor up, or stepping into, actually stewarding land and bringing other people to harmonize that energy with sustainable housing, living, working systems. And, food sovereignty is a huge part of that. Everybody eats. That's organic, non-GMO, like, conscious cuisine, how we actually eat alchemy, the living alchemy that is our energy system. And I feel, what I've seen, because I do live in Asheville, and a lot of people, Asheville, Ashland, Sedona, Shasta, and Boulder, kind of have a similar energy. And there are so many people moving here, and they're actually even uprooting from communities out west. And they are bringing huge visions into this area because they realize that with coronavirus, a lot of people that weren't into the idea of co-creating conscious community and having a collaborative governance system, that's what they thought about, because the food sovereignty and being able to live and work together and sustain mind, body, and spirit was really on people's hearts. And so, I believe the new system is we're going to see more intentional communities. There are even gated communities around here that are starting to do more intentional community models. And it's really the type of energy that we need for the planet right now, especially on the sustainable aspect. We have the technologies, we have the know-how, and even, the devices that we could clean up the water, we could remediate, the soil, we could remediate the air quality, and turn it into more of a sustainable environment. And so I believe that's the way we're going to start going more and more. And it's come through a lot of it with the music theme, the conscious music theme. I wish we could do a show on the transformational music scene and what impact that made with intentional communities. But you have to have people that are the ones that oversee the, all the working elements of things so they will get done. Otherwise, you just have people living in the fantasy, and the intentions are good, but there's an old adage or an old saying: the road to hell was paved with good intentions. So, the intentionality of the collective and is essential to build that type of community.
Yeah, I really like what you said. That it sounded like you guys both said something similar that I just want to emphasize, because I think it's really important, and we all know this, and it applies to this situation as much as any, and that's the inner the outer is reflective of the inner, and so it comes back to us and living in being the change that we want to see, right? Living the qualities that we want to see in this new earth, in this in ideal community. So, and then it all comes full circle.
Yeah, I appreciate what Geraldine was saying about going within. And we're our plan. We have a teacher training program where we're teaching co-creation, but it starts within. So we teach about getting to know 12 dimensions of yourself. So then you can go out and work with the 12 dimensions of community. We call them spheres of influence, but you have to know who you are and really activate your fullness of who you are and embody it. It's not even just knowing it, it's embodying it and being, the day of being, it's being it in every moment of every day with a pure intention from the heart. And we're going to be sharing that training program at Camp Disclosure. We're launching there. Okay. And we'll have just 8 students in November. So there's a great opportunity coming up to build a network of people, building community. It's not just about going out on a piece of land and starting something new. There are people in communities and in cities that really need to find those ways to come together, those common needs that the children have for future generations. And yes, it's all about education, finding the new ways of educating, and for children to learn who they are first as a human being, so then they can share their gifts with the world.
Well, that makes me think of your schools. Zach and Sue, what are the next steps? Where are you guys at in that vision of the school that you're envisioning?
I'm sorry, you broke up on me. What'd you say?
Oh, I was asking about the school that you were telling us about that you're envisioning. What are the next steps? How far along are you on that? Or how can we support you?
Well, I would say, for the school that we have currently, it's really just little things that we're doing each day with the children, again, allowing them to be themselves. We have started gardens with them and allowed them to plant the seeds and to, see what grows and everything that, is required and all of that. We make it feel very natural. We have a digging station where they can just dig if they want, they can create. So it's really just, such a big piece of it is just allowing each child to be who they are, and celebrating instead of a football Friday, we did a red, white, and blue day. So really trying to just bring back that idea of loving your country, loving each other, working together. Especially in the past year and a half when there's been such a push for this social distancing, we rejected that to the nth degree with our children. And we were very committed to just letting families know, like, we put the child first and what the needs are, and we're trying to build successful children for our future. And the way that we do that is we teach them how to work together, and we listen to their ideas, and we allow them to talk to each other and work things out. And it's so important to listen to the children and to hear where they are and what they want to learn about, instead of it being everything that everyone else tells us we should be teaching our children. Like, we know what's important moving forward. So as far as our home base now in Florida, in Maryland, we're just taking these little steps, but certainly as we look to our future together and think about what we can do to continue this mission.
We're in a very liberal area, and I admire Stu for what you've done at the center, because I would say 98% of the kids were maskless the whole time when they were suggesting that they'd all be masked. So she really put herself out there in a fashion that could have been critiqued, and she did it with poise, and I think it was favorably accepted, right? And so our visions are starting to change, and it looks like some of you guys are probably a little bit more advanced than we are in this, but we're talking about finding an area either here or Texas or somewhere that is a little less liberal than Maryland. We're right in between Baltimore and Washington, which is probably the armpit of America as far as the deep state goes, right?
So for the most part, we try to stay out of politics with Camp Disclosure. We're not leaning one way or the other. We keep that kind of at a different conference, at a different time. But we tolerate and appreciate all walks of life, really, all perspectives on that. But as far as the school goes, I like the idea of nature. I hear you talking about nature a lot. And one thing that got my interest was Geraldine, what you were saying earlier about galactic community. That was kind of on my list of questions of things to talk about, and how we can offer opportunity for even things beyond just gardening and being in nature, and get into the interdimensional stuff with these kids that are having these superpowers and able to. Tell us what you're doing in that realm.
Yeah, that's a really great question. I mean, with my hypnotherapy practice, I've been blessed and also DNA reprogramming with working with many incredible children from around the world that are incredibly gifted at such a young age. I mean, it is really something that it's sacred. It's like the most pure form of consciousness that we have in our planet right now, is to provide support and protection. And when I mean protection, is just awareness around cultivating that divinity of these children that come in so open, so conscious. They remember their past lives. They remember their, the intergalactic aspects of themselves. And these are children that, at this point, you don't even need to explain to them, what is, all of our ideas that we have, that we've all grown up, because all of us, we're older now. A lot of us, sometimes we've come into a lot of this indoctrination, maybe even through religion or culture, and we kind of disconnected from those natural parts of us that maybe even activating our own intuition has not been taught to us. So for these children, they understand that that's a part of themselves, and it's important for the parents, I think, at this point, to, like Mayana was saying, to become educated in understanding, the cultivation of that starts within, because these children are so awake that they can tap into their parents' emotions, their subconscious emotions so quickly, and they pick up on everything, very, very quickly. And so when we're talking about providing education, it's like intuitively they know when something is not 100% in alignment. If you try to teach them something historically or something like that that's out of alignment, or that doesn't quite fit a more global connected narrative, it's like they don't allow that to kind of integrate into themselves. So I find that very interesting. And in the work that I'm doing with these young hybrid children, is with the parents working hand in hand in creating a very intuitive connection, where even telepathy is something that parents are beginning to experience with their children. And it's very interesting. Globally around the world, I feel that in a way we are activating our intuitive abilities collectively in some way. And it's important to understand that when we think about creating community, when we think about connecting with others, that these children are ready for that. They're ready for those conversations, and they're open to this information. So the healing is happening much faster. I feel like these children that are coming in are really healing their ancestral lineages, and we're cleaning up a lot of this ancestral stuff that's kind of been brought down generationally. So it opens space for those that are coming into creating these communities to just start at this, to hit the floor running. In other words, in creating these kinds of communities.
And it's exactly that. Those children are why we can't come with our ideas of what they need. We have to be open to just provide the safe place and the nurturing environment so they can discover who they are and be who they need to be, because they're the ones that we're here for. They're the ones we've been doing this work for.
Yes.
It's the children, and all of our work, all of our peace production programs are about getting the adults to come together around a common goal. The common goal is not their own, it's the children.
Yes.
You're absolutely right.
That's the same message that I've gotten too, especially when it comes to my community and the teachings. And I love what everyone is having to say. It's mine, when I help my clients, it is all about starting here, because we've been so conditioned, we really honestly don't know what it's like to work with one another. And until you can get centered and in alignment with yourself, you can come out and start to be open-minded and practice that compassion and have that we go effect where it's not getting in the way. And it is all about the children. All the work that we're doing here, they're the most important ones, because they're going to ground in the changes that we're making and carry it on.
Another important thing is these children have different DNA. They're completely different, and their energy bodies are different. Yes. And one of the things that we share is that how the Homo spiritus, that next human species, how the energy body is. It's not the chakra system. It blooms, it becomes a flower, a plant, and it grows, and it's just really precious. And the young kids, when they see the image, they go, oh, that's me. I know that's me. And it's so exciting because our creative energy, we're talking about, having the same mind, the one mind, the pure mind above our crowns, not low in the body. Our creative energy comes up here, and we start communicating, and then we just know the same things at the same time. And the communication is easy and smooth. And it changes how we walk in the world.
And I'm resonating with that too, and what Geraldine said. The intention and the intuition with the children. And I know you know what I'm talking about, Mayana, with the intuition process. Even the Art of Living is doing. Children are so tapped in multidimensionally and so tapped in intuitively that those are the new Earth school, is really nurturing and honoring and also allowing that process to unfold. Because, most of us, unless we were super lucky, we didn't have that introduction to use our image magic nation, our own imagination, and be able to cultivate that and be able to cultivate our own individuality. We were put in a system and in a box, and we were contained, and we were told what to do. So the unschooling is important too. There's a lot of parents I know they're unschooling their children, and I have 3 grandchildren, and I wish I had the actual ability to be able to unschool them. But I see how they're learning things in school, and they're coming to me and saying, "I don't believe in that. Do you believe in that, Noni? That doesn't make sense to me." And I'm loving that my grandchildren are feeling their intuition, and I'm like, always go with your intuition. Find that light inside, that guiding light within inside, your compass, and honor that. And if we were taught that when we were children, we would all be in a different phase in the game, because we have to go through and undo a lot of the things with the ancestral clearing and ancestral karma, and get really to the root of it. And a lot of us find that later on in life. So I feel like we save a lot of, situations from happening that otherwise, if you just allowed children to really use their creative expression, their intuition, and their abilities, that it would develop a whole new world for them. And I feel we're all passionate for that, as parents and guardians of children of the new earth.
I was just going to add to that. That's so beautiful and so perfect. That it's interesting what the time that we're in right now, where the topic of ETs and all this topic of interdimensional contact is really coming into mainstream, and it really kind of, for me, what I'm noticing, and I don't know about everyone else here, intuitively, is that we're really being asked to pull away from any kind of compartmentalized thinking, or thinking that we need to be separate or somehow have these kinds of divisions in any way, even on Earth, but literally galactically. We're being called to look at things from a much higher perspective, interdimensionally at this point. And it's very interesting. I think that the future of our societies really lie in a profound understanding of our interdimensional expression as each human organism, as an individual and a collective. I think that if each person understands that, I think you have the design, the blueprint for these kinds of communities in that understanding.
Wow.
Yes.
That just adds a whole new level of importance to Camp Disclosure, Geraldine. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And it's important to know, too, that these interdimensional communications and knowings and experiences, we're not waiting for somebody to come and save us. We're not watching for anybody to come and save us. We are the ones, and we can't wait any longer. We have to take action, and we have to take action with integrity and holy hands. Our hands and our hearts are holy, and these children are holy, and that, not religious, but it's so precious. It's divine.
Thank you for saying that. Very
There's
important.
purity and innocence in these children, and a lot of times people, and young parents especially, don't know how to cultivate curiosity a lot of times, and they put them in front of the TV, they put them in front of the computers, and it's a constant saturation of EMF, a constant saturation of digital frequency. When these children, they're not around the analog as much as they are the digital. So getting PMH Atwater, I know I've made this comment before, but she is remarkable. She said this: if you get the new kids, if you get the star kids on the earth, and we're probably all Starseed, but if you get them on the earth at a young age, when they're playing with their devices, when they're, on the computers or whatever, then they're not going to have the issues that children that you just, cut off from the earth. So there are schools in Asheville that you can go to. Your kids have their desk outside. They're learning the technology, but their feet are on the earth. So getting them connected to Gaia and teaching them how important that it's symbiosis. I even had someone tell me that during Montessori schools, we're telling the children during the time of coronavirus, the reason you're seeing this on the outside is this is going on in the inside, and so children are learning things. There's tons of schools like that here where, they're given the opportunity to think and also realize reality of what is happening. Because, there were kids on computers for 6 hours a day during coronavirus, unattended by parents, learning things, and heard all kinds of horror stories about moms walking in oh, you're in school, I'm sorry. So the kids were on the computers constantly, and, a lot of parents were like, this is just not healthy. We're going to have to get our kids on the earth while they're doing this, because they just noticed that they were just so bugged out from learning all this and being in a fear-based place and not playing with other children. So I commend you guys for what y'all are doing, and with children too, and planting seeds and harvesting, teaching about the harvest and growing and cycles and everything. So, the analog is important. Getting them away from the digital to really start thinking and feeling and expressing. But
and we make love go viral. That's all we need. All we need is love. We just make it go viral and get rid of any resistance to it. Just keep it flowing.
Well, there's a lot of heart chakra openings going on currently at the moment, and everything that everybody is saying is in alignment with the current energy. So, I mean, yes.
Yeah, and in alignment with everything that we're trying to do at camp. So thank you guys so much for being here tonight. This is just a little introduction to what you guys will be hearing about, talking about, and experiencing at camp. Any final words before we take off? You guys any closing thoughts?
Well, I wanted to share real quick. I live down the road from you, Christy. I was actually going to ask if I could come over because, we're doing this still ghetto lighting where we're at to, light everything up. But I wanted to share with you guys, we have been aligned with property here, 20 acres with 3 homes on the sacred waters, flowing waterfalls, and some headwaters in the mountains of western North Carolina, 45 minutes from Asheville, 45 minutes from Greenville, and to try to find new land stewards that want to step into a community. The folks that started this they had a vision for community. They came from Oregon, and they're retiring. So we have a retreat center here, and we're really we're putting the call out. This place could house currently 20 people, but we could build, and an intentional community here. So I wanted to just put that shout out if anybody is wanting to step in that direction.
Awesome.
Here available.
You broke up on us, Sarah. I didn't catch the last minute of what you said. It was breaking up. What was it?
If anyone is interested in talking further, about the property and what I was just mentioning, then reach out to me.
I think we would like to, I'm sure.
Awesome. That's what it's all about, the networking. So that is very cool. Other final thoughts before we take off?
Well, we're doing a lot of our work to teach people wherever they are to grow and build together. But we also have our heart quarters that we've established here in Southwest Virginia. We just have a little 2 1/3 acres for a demonstration site. And we're just getting started and looking for co-creators to come and play with us here. And we envision a school and events and little tiny homes and all kinds of wonderful things on this land.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Very cool.
You guys are amazing. I just want to give a shout out and gratitude to all of you guys that are doing such incredible work out there. Thank you so much. And I hope to contribute in any way possible if you need anything. So thank you guys, all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Jennifer, you want to close us out? I know you want to give a little final update, a reminder on all the good stuff we had mentioned earlier.
Yes, absolutely. Before we do that, I just want to say I really, really enjoyed this topic because it makes me in alignment. It's confirmation. So thank you guys for each doing everything, and the guys out there that are setting up their own communities. It is very important that we do start doing this. So thank you. I'm honoring you right now. Before we close, don't forget that we have our day passes, okay? They are live on our website, 111. You can get for Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And then we also have our music-only passes for 144 for all 3 nights. The 10% discount to all senior military healthcare workers and those that are in school. And then the live stream tickets, they are up. Remember, we have the early bird special, limited capacity. So make sure that it's a $22 savings, I believe. So make sure you take advantage of that. As always, please make sure that you like, subscribe, and follow. Share this video out. As we have kind of mentioned already on this video, some of it is starting to get suppressed. All your help is greatly appreciated. That's the whole point of us all coming together and helping each other. So thank you, everybody who showed up on the live. And for those of you who are catching the replay, we will see you next week. We are coming up to the closing. Next week we're not quite in August, but we are almost there. So thank you, everybody who's always tuned in and showed us love.
Yeah. Good night, y'all.
Good night, guys.
Have a wonderful evening. Thank you, guys.
Ground, connect, activate. It's time. Our Starseed soul family is gathering in the sacred Blue Ridge Mountains to dance, play, meditate, create, learn, heal, and upgrade. Camp Disclosure 2021 Experience the Human Upgrade, a 4-day soul activating experience featuring leading edge speakers, inspiring art, uplifting music, delicious food, ecstatic dance, and a contagious high vibe aimed at pushing the dialogue, shifting the paradigm, and forging a path to the new earth, where the extraordinary is not only honored, but celebrated. Find us online at campdisclosure.com for event and live stream tickets.